Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. I'm getting kind of tired of this. My GoPro seems to be going south on me. Either that or every SD card I've got is broken. I'm not rightly sure. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the 22 long rifle. This is my very first gun. I got this about age 12. My dad was going by an old pawn shop, and he looked in there and looked at this and turned to the guy and said, "How much?" And the guy said, "I think 20 bucks." And he bought it for me. Well, I remember going out with my cousins, and we'd stalk up and down the various country roads around central Texas, finding old beer bottles and Coke bottles and cans and throwing them in a bag. And we walked back over to the local general store, and we traded all of our bottles in for change. And when we had about, I think it was 50 cents, we'd buy a box of 22s. And then usually they were that, or 22 longs, or maybe 22 shorts. Depends on what he had in stock. And then we'd take it out, go down to the creek, and the creek had dirt clods all over the far bank. So we'd sit down on our bank and shoot up dirt clods. It was sort of like Hickok 45, smoking pot, only we're smoking dirt clods. You'd hit one and poof, everywhere. It was fun. Every now and then you'd shoot a turtle or a frog, and you bring it home, and Grandma would say, "Clean it up, I'll cook it." I've had turtle soup, had frog legs. Hell, I had possum ones, all of which I killed and brought home and had to field strip, or had to dress and clean, skin it, get the guts out of it, and get basically all of the meat that there was to eat. With a frog, that's the legs. There isn't much else in there. And I remember we went out one night gigging for frogs. A gig is a gizmo that it's got like a spring-loaded claw hook on the end of a long pole, and you stick it down in the water and go ka-chunk. Once we went gigging for water moccasins. That was fun. A little scary, but fun. We'd fill up burlap bags full of them. They were infesting that stock pond, and we would clean them out so that the cattle didn't get bit. Anyway, this thing is bolt action, single shot, only holds one round, hand cock, and all the rifling in it is completely shot out. So, it only shot 22 shorts, longs, and long rifle, or scatter shot. And it did best with scatter shot. And Grandma, that was all she'd ever give me. If I didn't have money to buy 22 long rifle, I could ask Grandma for something to shoot, and she'd hand me one round. You take it in your gun, and you go out hunting. And then you come back, and if you shot it, you'd have to bring it back and then get another round from her. But you only got one round, sort of like Andy giving it to Barney Fife, My grandma wasn't stupid. And if you ever shot up, say, a neighbor's barn, or shot at a cow or something, you were in deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble. Anyway, that started my love of 22. Since then, I've got, those are all 22s. But let me say, when I go out socially, I carry this. A Ruger LCR 5-shot 38 Special plus P. And it's an airweight, and it's just absolutely beautiful little revolver. Yes, I know about Wonder 9s and 15 rounds in a stack magazine and all that nonsense. I've got a few of them. They're fun to play with, but no, I don't carry one. Why have your belt hanging down to your waist like some wrapper just because your gun is weighting down your side? This, I pocket carry, and by the way, I prefer these Uncle Mike's cloth holsters because they cover up the trigger guard. They work fine in your pocket, and they're soft, and when you pull a pistol out, unless you really, like I just did, hold on to it, it'll stay in the pocket and the pistol comes out in your hand, or the revolver in this case. Well, 5 shots really isn't enough, so I carry a backup. The backup I carry is a North American Arms mini revolver in 22 Magnum. And I've had many of these. When you buy one, you get it in one of these. They give you this little gun safe. Well, I bought a few of these, and I've got a few gun safes. I gave one to a friend because he had kids, and, well, he wanted to lock a gun up, so I gave it to him. But here's another 22 Magnum, and here's a 22 long rifle. Oh, and here's a 22 long rifle cylinder for this one. Now, what's the difference between this one and this one? All North American Arms, to load them, you pull this pin out, take the cylinder out, use the pin to drive out all the empties, fill them full of cartridges, then carefully roll it back in and put the pin back in. Except this one. This one, you pull the pin out. Which way do you go? Got to remember which way you go. This way. You pull the pin forward and then put it in half cock, put the pin forward, and then roll it out to the side. It's a swing out cylinder. And you can pull this screw out and then replace the crane and the cylinder with this 22 long rifle one if you want. Note, all the guns in here are unloaded except these. I always keep these loaded, so don't tell anybody. But they all sit in this little gun safe, but I leave the key in place, and it's easy to just pop it open if I need a gun. But I have 2 on me at any given time. I've been thinking about pulling one of those out and having 3 on me. That would give me 15 rounds. I realize if it was a 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum, and a 38 Special, it's not much in the way of firepower. But if you're an individual, you don't need much in the way of firepower. What you need is something to ward off maybe a small gang of hoods, 4 or 5 guys. And this is enough for that, especially if you find the lead thug and just nail him. Then the other cattle will run like hell. That's the way it works. It's worked that way since the dawn of time. It's the way of evolution. Anyway, I carry my Ruger in my pocket. Ooh. And then I carry this North American in a Leatherman holster on this side. That's okay. I carry a Leatherman on this side. This is a Gen 1 Leatherman. I have had this particular one for 30 years. I have a lot of Leathermans, but this is my favorite, this particular one. I know exactly how it falls and how it opens and stuff. I will be buried with this particular Leatherman. It's my joy. I have fixed so damn many things with it. Hell, I lost the crane screw on this one, and I had to replace it. I emailed North American, and they shipped me one. Thank you. Well, so I had to put it in. Well, I needed an itty-bitty little screwdriver. Well, that Leatherman has a itty-bitty little screwdriver on it, so I did that. Works. Anyway, I like 22. 22 is not your lethal man stopper by any means.